and welcome everyone to the Finance and Business Podcast in Acres Exhibition. Today's episode focuses on a topic that matters deeply to investors and developers as well. How design and planning decisions shape long-term real estate performance in Dubai. Dubai market has matured significantly, moving beyond headline prices toward fundamental such as livability, operational efficiency, and sustainable returns. Our guest today is Mr. Amrit, the Director of Business Development at Krama Developers. Mr. Amrit, welcome to Acres. It's a pleasure to have you today with us.
Thank you, Islam, for having me over here at the Acres exhibition and at this podcast. Look forward to our discussion.
Thank you so much. So let's start by the first question, which is related to Dubai real estate market. How it has evolved rapidly. So from an investor perspective, what design and planning decision most strongly influenced an asset's ability to perform beyond the initial sales phase?
So in Dubai, the market has evolved considerably, and now the focus is more towards developers that last a long time, where people want to stay and live in for the next 10, 15, 20 years, and a property that will be even relevant, a decade, 2 decades later. And that is a shift that is happening, which developers in Dubai, some of them are already realizing it, and some of them are getting on board with it now. We're choosing the right amenities, unit sizes, efficient construction technologies, and meeting sustainable building standards is more important to the consumer than just the ticket size of the project.
Exactly, because we can see that the Dubai market is mostly rapidly focusing on the real estate sector. So the economy of Dubai is mostly about real estate and how the real estate is efficient. So efficiency is playing a major role in this market. So let's go to unit mix and sizing playing a critical role in rental demand. So as you mentioned, how do developers balance market efficiency with livability to ensure long-term investor liquidity?
So when it comes to unit sizes and unit mixes, people do not want to live in buildings which have a lot of studios in them, for long term especially. I mean, when I say talk about people, I mean families, be it young couples or be it small families. They will not live in the 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments of the building if there are a lot of studios in the building. So unit mix needs to be either a very small ratio of studios or no studios at all. So we've taken special care to make sure that most of our projects either do not have studios or have just a few studios. Even unit sizes at the end of the day make a huge difference on whether someone would want to stay in this apartment long term. I mean, a 400 square foot 1 bedroom where your guest washroom is also your main washroom and exposing all your toiletries to the guests coming in is not an apartment that people will stay in long term. This is an apartment where people will stay in temporarily until they find better accommodation, like a placeholder unit. So unit sizes and unit layouts and unit mixes are very important in this day and age, where you need to have the appropriate sizes and mixes and not just go for the blind concept of ticket size. So yeah.
Exactly. So as you mentioned, your vision way is on focusing on families, which is aligned with the UAE vision for this year. As I mentioned, it is year of family. So I think always linking the visions with the UAE visions, it's a great idea to access goals and receive achievements in the market. So let's go to speaking more about project itself. So many projects compete on amenities. So yet not all amenities enhance value. Some of them comes with long-term challenge cost over time. So how should investor access whether amenities will strengthen long-term returns or create ongoing cost on pressure?
Amenities, so you should see what kind of project this is and then figure out the kind of amenities that this project requires. I mean, a residential project, for example, will always require an amenity like a swimming pool, a gym, common areas for people to socialize in, and places to be active in. These are the core of any residential building. Developers usually, brag about 40 amenities, 50 amenities, 100 amenities. One day someone will come with 200 amenities of, just random stuff on paper. And that doesn't really add value. And the usability of an amenity is also something. I mean, if an amenity is a single-use amenity, for example, if this area can only be used as a paddle court and not as anything else, then basically this is a lost area where, it takes cost to maintain this paddle court. But unless someone's playing paddle over here, this place is of no use. Also, stuff like having swimming pools in balconies. If it's an ultra luxurious project, on the beach and priced insanely high and managed very well, maybe at that point in time it's still a maybe whether it could be acceptable. But having a huge construction background, of decades, we know how risky pools are. And it's never a matter of when pools will, it's never a matter of if pools will leak, it's always when they will leak. Because the best made pools leak. And if you fill a middle income building with a pool in every apartment, I mean, who the hell needs a studio with a pool?
It will reach a cost that will be at the end a problem for a challenge over time.
Exactly. Maintenance challenges throughout, who is going to maintain these pools? And even the dead facilities, who are going to maintain these dead facilities? You have a bowling alley in a building, great, but the operational cost of a bowling alley is huge. It's good to say, my building has a bowling alley, but you're paying for it.
For sure, maintenance always it's a great cost when it goes beyond the profit.
Correct. It hits your yield at the end of the day. High service charges will hit your yield.
So let's talk about how do thoughtful layout planning and right-sized amenities contribute to controlling service charge and protecting net yields over time, as you mentioned.
Right.
Because it comes with challenges. So how we can cover these challenges or avoid them over time?
So when amenities are designed, like I said earlier, you design amenities as such that every amenity space can be used for multiple items. That is one way of reducing the operational cost of amenities. Another way of reducing the operational cost of amenities is by selecting the material very carefully that goes into amenities, especially for something like a pool, right? You could have a great looking pool, but if your filtration system is not up to the standard and it will require replacement after 1 to 2 years, then you've got another problem coming up. Other items where developers think that they might save a little cost by using a slightly cheaper product. At the end of the day, a developer sells the project and is out of the project. The developer is not responsible for the longevity of the project. It is the buyer who has to bear the brunt of it. So see what the developer has already done. How those facilities are lasting today. The pools that the developer has done, how those pools are today. The gyms the developer has done, how thoughtfully designed are those gyms. I mean, I've been to buildings where I've seen gyms with like 2 treadmills and a squat rack and a bench. And what can you do with that? So gym is something that residents in a building really want. So you build a bigger gym, you put more facilities. You can even contribute more of an area towards the gym. In our project in Sports City, we have an outdoor gym and we have an indoor gym.
So do you meet both preferences for people? Exactly,
because this is something that people actually use. And the outdoor gym also has, these jungle gym kind of elements, which also work for kids, So kids also enjoy playing on them, obviously supervised, but yeah.
So you are balancing between the preference of people. So some people like me, I prefer to outdoor, but also there is a people and they prefer indoor and closed areas to focus on these things.
And then you ask the market what it wants also, right? You ask the market, we were having a discussion earlier and I'd completely forgotten about this, but when we were having a discussion, I remembered we were one of the first developers to bring in the concept of having a dog park in our buildings, and that came about because there was an actual need for it. I had friends complaining that they couldn't find accommodation that allowed pets, and I said this is a problem, and this is a market that can tap this thing. And the thing is, when you have all those items, and when you build a building with nice amenities catered towards family where the operational costs are low, the rentals in the building end up being much higher. So for the developers, the people who are buying for you, when they see return coming back to them that, I invest in this developer and I'm getting a very good rental yield, then it's great. Also, in some instances, for example, when it's a commercial building, so we're seeing launches of commercial buildings showing off pools and all kinds of other stuff, which is great for residential buildings. But in a commercial building,
It is useful, not unuseful, useless. You can, yeah, exactly.
I'm a business owner, and I'm not a bad business owner, but I would not be too happy with the fact that my employees would take a break in between working hours to go swim in the pool. Exactly. So commercial buildings require a different set of amenities, like more interaction spaces, food courts. Even if it's a gym, it could be a gym that you lease out to someone.
Yeah, like for the specific things, not all the materials in the gym.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, all these things combined, put together, will bring down the operation costs. Thoughtfully designed amenities, equipment selection is done right, and stuff that people actually use, that will bring down your costs and bring up the satisfaction among the tenants.
As you mentioned, I didn't mention, we didn't spoke about like quality. Once we talk about quality, that's mean when the product has a good quality, I think it's make more attractive to people to purchase. Yeah. So quality is one of the major role, I think, in this side also.
Definitely. But quality also has to be, I think the word quality gets thrown around very easily. A lot of people just assume a brand name with quality, right? So, which is not the case. When you actually see the workings of a product and see how a product performs over the years, there are certain highly priced items which do not perform as well as their counterparts. So at the end of the day, you got to find also that balance between long-term use and looking good. Because let's face it, we all know Toyotas are the most reliable cars, but our dream cars are never Toyotas.
Exactly. So looking ahead, what signals should investors watch for when evaluating whether a Dubai development is designed for sustainable performance rather than the short-term appeal?
Well, one of the very quick indicators that you can do is you can check the ratio of studios in the building, right? So that'll give you a good indication of whether the building is designed by a developer who's looking for a short-term gain or a long-term gain. Because a high percentage of studios means a short-term gain is being focused, costs are probably being cut in some other places. Because the developer decided that due to a small ticket size, I would be able to sell a lot more at a much higher price. So that is one of the very early indicators, and also a very important one, because having more number of studios also adds to the infrastructure load on the building, which also in turn wears down the building equipment, the elevators, the corridors, everything much faster, and your operational costs increase. So as one of the right off the bat indicators, that would be the number of studios in the building.
Exactly. As you mentioned, commercial buildings. I remember one time I visited a commercial building in Dubai. I think it was in Silicon. I think the building itself, it was like, I think 50 floors, but there was only 2 elevators, and it is a commercial building. So people, when are coming to the work or to the job, they need to wait 10 minutes or 15 minutes waiting for the elevator to come and take them. And many times you will see a lot of people in one elevator. So I think commercial buildings should focus on this side more.
Definitely. Vertical infrastructure is a huge component when it comes to commercial buildings. Because commercial buildings have so many people coming in and going out the entire time, commercial buildings require more number of elevators than residential buildings do. Also, it plays into the fact in how the commercial building was designed, right? So, if a commercial building was designed with a lot of small offices, then you'd see a lot of vertical infrastructure load, because all these small offices have their own infrastructure, have their own requirements, and the same number of people going up and down compared to an office like 3 or 4 times that size. So when you're looking for commercial buildings and whether it's a good investment in a commercial building or not, that is one of the indicators that you can check with, where if the units are too small, the offices are too small being offered in a commercial building, that means it's being made for like short-term gains, not for long-term. Because offices also, at the end of the day, it's a different market altogether, and they are looking for space, right? They're looking for expandability. They're not looking for a business center kind of space, and this needs to be addressed in the market, especially now. In the entire UAE, commercial has not been developed in years, and now finally commercial is being developed. And a lot of developers are entering the commercial market and trying to figure out, how to play the game in the commercial market.
So, finally, if you were to offer one key piece of advice to investors that are working on a newly developments in Dubai, what would it be?
Do not look for short-term gains, look for long-term gains, which basically means that build buildings that your investors can get value from decades down the line, not just you getting value out of it right now. Because that is a long game, and that is our responsibility as developers to provide to the market.
Thank you so much for this amazing advice, and thank you again, Mr. Amrit, for sharing these valuable insights and for highlighting how thoughtful design and planning play a commercial role and a factor that are in long-term real estate performance that affect long-term. We are always focusing on long-term.
Always on long.
Yes, for sure. And thank you to our listeners for joining Acris. We hope today's conversation helped you to make more informed, performance-driven investment decisions. Stay tuned for our next episode, and thank you again. Thank you so much.